The horror of the meaning of life. This one will be interesting, if only for the fact that initially I wanted to use another title for this piece: Why There Is No Meaning of Life. You see, I started with a thesis and a few ideas that would support it. But when I was about halfway through, something popped to my mind. I tried to resist it at first as it was not aligned with my original idea, but soon struggle gave way to curiosity. I decided to play along and see where the new path would lead me to. And I'm satisfied with the destination, and I hope you will find here something that will rattle thoughts in your mind. Does life have meaning? What could it be? How could we discover it? How can we live our lives if life doesn't have meaning? Is life worth living in such a scenario? To even start with any of these questions, we have to get back to the starting line. The very question, what is the meaning of life? This question not only presupposes that life has meaning, but it is almost always understood as an invitation to search for a universal, transcendent, or ultimate answer. Not something different for each person, not a meaning of life, but the meaning of life. Now, to make this problem graspable, we have to have a clear understanding of what meaning is, how it is used, how it comes about, and what are the limits of meaning. Meaning is not something in the world that we can reach out for and pull into our minds. These words don't have meaning, just as they don't have color or sound. We don't extract meaning from the world, we project it onto things in the world. Meaning is used to deal with problems in life. A person assigns meaning to an object, a situation, another person, an action, etc. in order to relate oneself to the now meaningful aspect of experience, a chunk of reality. All actions or inactions regarding the target are possible through this device of meaning. We should expect that this system of meaning making and coloring things with meaning has limitations. In the simple system of natural numbers, we come across problems when we try to divide 3 by 2, or when we try to divide a non-zero number by 0, or when we ask, what's the square root of 2? The answers don't fit into the system. Our vision is also limited. We can't see through walls, we can't see ultraviolet. We can only distinguish so much detail. We are clearly limited. Wherever we look, we see limits, either outside or within ourselves. Because meaning was used primarily to deal with problems of daily life, including social life, we can try to look for breaks in areas that are far removed from these topics. We can ask questions without context, such as what is the meaning or purpose of a far-away star? When asking what's the purpose of a certain type of atoms, we can only give an answer that would describe the interaction of these particles with other atoms, for instance. There could be no meaning of certain element in itself. Meaning of the entire universe? All of these questions look ill-posed. It's as if I was playing with words, trying to trick you into saying something silly, or drive you into a corner after you redefine meaning or purpose, and I could then scream with joy, "Gotcha!" We simply cannot answer many of such weird, but on the surface innocent-looking questions, and still hold the same sense of the words meaning and purpose. We didn't evolve our meaning processors for such cases. There are limits to our faculty of casting meaning onto things. So what about meaning of life and purpose of life? We use the term purpose to talk about our relation to objects and what we can do with them. We use a spade to dig. We use a chair to sit on it. Purpose of a thing is always perceived by a mind who can do something with this thing, act on it, use it to achieve some goal. But purpose of life itself? There is no singular goal for all human minds that could apply to all human lives. Each individual person could, in principle, come up with its own personalized goal to accomplish in life. But that's not what is asked for in the question. What's the purpose of life? Question demands an answer that will explain why this life has started in the first place. It's not about what this particular person chose to do in his or her life after already being born and able to think about his or her predicament. It is already too late. Mind always looks for meaning outside of itself, even though it is the source of all this meaning. The mind is blind to this fact. The mind doesn't see that it is the knife that carves out meaningful chunks of otherwise meaningless reality. Because of this, the mind requires the purpose of life to also be given to life from some outside source. God, propagation of species, honoring of the ancestors, prosperity for future generations, fight for the cause, or any other answer fundamentally places the source of meaning outside of the only thing in the universe that actually is capable of generating and projecting meaning, the mind. In normal life, the term purpose is always used when talking about ordinary things. The purpose is of a thing for a mind. The question for the purpose of life doesn't fall into this pattern. A purpose of a human being doesn't necessarily require another mind to create this meaning or perceive the use of said person. The meaning of life presupposes a transcendent principle that has existed before a person's life began and is independent of it. This principle would then be the reason for this person's life. This principle would give the human being's life meaning. So there we have it. We cannot generate meaning of our own lives because the meaning generator is within us and it cannot project meaning before it comes into existence. We cannot assign true purpose of life to our own life, as the purpose of life has to precede the life. It has to be the reason why this particular life came to be, what this life is for. The only other alternative is a hypothetical principle that would use our life for its own reasons. We would be mere tools or means to an end. Ultimately, this goal wouldn't be of our own making for our own benefit. We would have no say in this matter, no control, no dignity, no freedom. We couldn't choose nor consent to this purpose. If such a thing existed, it would make all of us absolute slaves. This thing would be like Dr. Frankenstein, and we would be his mad creations, monsters, made to satisfy his sick desires. Let's call this thing, whatever that would be, Frankengod. It has the power to create life. It has all the control. There is no safe word to stop this sadistic game. Frankengod doesn't want to stop. It just creates life for its own amusement to satisfy its own craving. This answer to the question of the meaning of life would bring cosmic horror ever so closer. Be sure to check out the description for links to inspiration and other articles that you may find interesting. And bye for now.